सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ओम निधये सर्व विद्यानां विषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम सदाशिवसमारम्भां व्यासशङ्करमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ओम शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ओम श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ओम परब्रह्मणे नमः। ओम श्रुतिमात्रे नमः। ओम समस्त ब्रह्मविद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री वेदव्यास वैशंपायन याज्ञवल्क्य आद्य शंकरादि गुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। समस्त गुरूणां ऋषीणां मुनीनां देवतानां परब्रह्मणः श्रुतिमातुः अनुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधस्य अस्मिन् क्षणे एव सिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकसंस्कृतेः पुनरुत्थानजागरण विश्वव्याप्त्यर्थं विश्वशान्तिसामरस्यता प्राप्त्यर्थं समस्त सनातनधर्मभक्तसाधकसेवकानां विघ्नशत्रुनिवारण समस्त शक्ति साधन संपदा वाप्ति द्वारा धर्म संस्थापन कार्ये दिग्विजय प्राप्त्यर्थम श्री कृष्ण यजुर्वेदांतर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषदः पारायणम् आद्य शंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययनं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। आदौ पारायणम्। Friends, we have to chant from यतो वाचो निवर्तन्ते up to the yeah. Om yato vacho nivartante अप्राप्य मनसा सह आनन्दं ब्रह्मणो विद्वान् न बिभेति कदाचनेते तस्यैष एव शारीर आत्मा यः पूर्वस्य तस्माद्वा एतस्मान् मनोमयात् अन्योन्तर आत्मा विज्ञानमयः तेनैष पूर्णः स वा एष पुरुषविद एव तस्य पुरुषविदताम् अन्वयं पुरुषविदः तस्य श्रद्धैव शिरः ऋतं दक्षिणः पक्षः सत्यमुत्तरः पक्षः योग आत्मा महापुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवते विज्ञानं यज्ञं तनुते कर्माणि तनुते विच विज्ञानं देवाः सर्वे ब्रह्मज्येष्ठमुपासते विज्ञानं ब्रह्म चेद्वेद तस्माच्चेन्न प्रमाद्यते शरीरे पाप्मनो हित्वा सर्वान् कामान् समश्नुत इति तस्यैष एव शारीर आत्मा यः पूर्वस्य तस्माद्वा एतस्माद् विज्ञानमयात् अन्योन्तर आत्मानन्दमयः तेनैष पूर्णः स वा एष पुरुषविद एव तस्य पुरुषविदताम् अन्वयं पुरुषविदः तस्य प्रियमेव शिरः मोदो दक्षिणः पक्षः प्रमोद उत्तर पक्षः आनन्द आत्मा ब्रह्मपुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवते असन्नेव स भवते असद्ब्रह्मेति वेद चेत् अस्ति ब्रह्मेति चेद्वेद सन्तमेनं ततो विदुरिते तस्यैष एव शारीर आत्मा यः पूर्वस्य अथातोऽनुप्रश्नाः उत विद्वानमुं लोकं प्रेत्य कश्चन गच्छति आहो विद्वानमुं लोकं प्रेत्य कश्चित् समश्नुता सोकामयत बहुस्यां प्रजा ये येति स तपोतप्यत स तपस्तप्त्वा इदगं सर्वमसृजत यदिदं किञ्च तत्सृष्ट्वा तदेवानुप्राविशत तदनुप्रविश्य सच्चत्यच्चाभवत् निरुक्तं चानिरुक्तं च निलयनं चानिलयनं च विज्ञानं चाविज्ञानं च सत्यं चानृतं च सत्यमभवत् यदिदं किञ्च तत्सत्यमित्याचक्षते तदप्येष श्लोको भवति ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ श्रीकृष्णयजुर्वेदान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषद ॐ यस्मात् जातं जगत् सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रणीयते येनेदन्धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं तैत्तिरेयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते ॐ शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मा वादिशं ऋतमवादिशं सत्यमवादिशं तन्मामावीत तद्वक्तारमावीत आवेन्माम् आवेद्वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 अथ द्वितीया ब्रह्मानन्दवल्ली शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्तिः 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 अथ प्रथमोऽनुवाकः ॐ ब्रह्मविदाप्नोति परं तदेशाभ्युक्ता सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्म यो वेद निहितं गुहायां परमे व्योमन् सोऽश्नुते सर्वान् कामान् सह ब्रह्मणा विपश्चितेते तस्माद्वा एतस्मादात्मन आकाशः सम्भूतः आकाशाद्वायुः वायोरग्निः अग्नेरावः अद्यः पृथिवी पृथिव्या ओषधयः ओषधीभ्योऽन्नम् अन्नात् पुरुषः स वा एष पुरुषोऽन्नरसमयः तस्येदमेव शिरः अयं दक्षिणपक्षः अयमुत्तरपक्षः अयमात्मा इदं पुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति. Salute Parabrahma Tattva, salute Shruti Mata, extend pranams to all the Brahma Vidya, Acharya, Rishi Muni Guru Devata Parampara. Our humble prostrations to Bhagavan Vedavyasa, Vaishambhayana Yajnavalkya Rishi, and our salutations to Bhashyakara Bhagavan Adi Shankara. All the Gurus who are blessing us and our own Guru. One of the toughest thing in spirituality and the necessary thing is to know what are the obstructions which we have within for our own spiritual growth. Recognizing them itself is a big challenge. Then the challenge of removing those obstructions. Then the second challenge is what? What are the ingredients? What are the, let us say, qualities or attitudes, etc., we need which add to our spiritual sadhana. Again, knowing them also is so tough because we have to be extremely acutely aware about what is happening within us. Then only we will be able to know what are the things which are extra to be pruned or removed. So, too, what are the qualities that have to be inculcated? Then only, actually, for spiritual sadhana, what are the deserving qualifications on that we can focus? Then only, the first step of going to the Guru onwards, last step of being one with Paramatma, all those step by step sadhanas we will be able to do. So, as we are showing our interest in trying to study Shastra, we have to also show interest in wanting to experience the self. For that, we should show our interest in doing sadhana. And in doing the sadhana, when we have to show the interest, these are the three things which come. What are the qualifications I need? What are the qualities I need? What are the not good or bad qualities which I have to eliminate? Without this operation done, the spiritual growth is never guaranteed or experienced. So, these are all inevitable things to be done and inevitable things to be understood and accepted. So far we just were saying कि आ जाओ spirituality सुनो शास्त्र पढ़ो. These are all only the initial words said. But once we start coming into the classes, the due sadhanas of removing the negative, getting the positive, and getting the special qualifications required, we have to go on obtaining only. The special qualifications, whenever we say, undoubtedly, it means the Viveka Vairagyadi Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampada. Then the inner preparations means that Shubhecha, the willingness, to have the spiritual growth evolution. Then the things to be eliminated whenever we say about negative are all the durgunas we have of the rajas and tamas. Unless these things are sorted out, we cannot proceed in the spirituality, both of understanding, getting inspiration, actually spending hours together for that sadhana of the manana chintana. Then only we'll be able to come out of all the outer grosser layers to go deep in our understanding and experience. All those who wanted, they left everything, they went, they tried only that. And everybody who tried, they got it. That is what everywhere said. Whether it is said Brahmavidapnoti Param or whether it is said in Bhagavan Krishna's concluding verses of this avatara, that whoever does the deep study and involvement in Bhagavan's kathas, he will also become one with him. Where it is said ki chittavritti nirodha tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam, or today as we will see when Agastya says it's only when you invoke Bhagavad Kripa by his upasana that when he blesses that all this jnana will come. So all the places the saying words are different but the said thing is the same. Then we will question ourselves, where do we stand today in our own spiritual evolution and conscious effort of ours? How much are we matured? Did we ever become aware of ourselves and looked into all these three aspects of the obstructing negative qualities, the required positive qualities, and the necessary qualification? We have to focus on them. We have to become serious and sincere about them. Then what helps us is the Viveka Vairagya, the layman's language. Viveka Vairagya means the world will be the same whether you involve in it or not. And what you get in the world when you involve is the same which you got so far. And every one of us know we are out of some compulsion in a routine, we are doing and involving in them, but none of them give such a great joy or satisfaction. Any fascinating thing. You want to become big minister, prime minister, शुरू में अच्छा लगता है बाद बोर हो जाते हो. People quit politics even after reaching to big heights because that's not truth, that's not ultimate. So for us from here, the distant grass is greener, it looks like, but when you go there, it is same like what it was here. That common sense, if we can use it, and then therefore, instead of pursuing any of the variety in these things, the exclusive spiritual pursuit we have to do. Can we do that? Do we have that type of thinking? Do we have that type of guts? Then plan, exhaustively plan your own spiritual journey, right from where we are to what we are, and day in and day out only involve in that. So even in this case also, unless the type of taking charge, taking responsibility, being sincere, if these qualities are not there, then just like we do the worldly things half-heartedly, spiritual things also we just do. That won't give us much, either progress in sadhana or the joy of doing sadhana. So all these things again and again we have to involve, we have to contemplate upon. Along with all this, the caution is what? Again, no going back to the delusory world of inner own mind's thoughts or even the gross world. Even if you are compelled to go there, have the kavacham that I am spiritual seeker. I have to protect my own mind. I have to just conserve my time energy. So only this much is my involvement there. Thereafter I pull myself physically, mentally from that compulsory activity back to my own pursuing of spiritual goal. And any of the sacrifices required to be done in the outer world, whether it is a money or any things, even want to get a defeat, never mind. If it helps our spiritual peace and sadhana, it is worthy. No need of argument. Let them win. You accept the defeat. It saves the problem. It saves us from that unnecessary argument, creating dents in the mind, regrets, guilt, and all. With such mind, we can't be spiritual. Why the spiritual people love everyone, forgive everyone, or why should they do it was is only to protect their antakarana, which is slowly preparing for the spiritual sadhana. खराब नहीं करना चाहिए उसको. That also you have to be careful. We should not make big issues in the world. We need not try to fight out and win the games in the outer world. No, solve all of those. Zyada value though, new asanas are created. More importantly, the mind remains in the agitated stage only. With that mind, we cannot do sadhana. All this we are going to discuss for next 5 6 days in our Patanjali Yoga Darshanam. अभ्यासवैराग्याभ्यां तन्निरोधः तत्र स्थितो यत्नोऽभ्यासः स तु दीर्घकालाय नैरन्तर्येण सत्कारः सेवितो दृढभूमिः दृष्टानुश्रविकविषयवितृष्णस्य वशीकारसंज्ञा तत्परम. All these things we'll talk about these important aspects very detailedly. Let's see how much the Lord helps us to understand. Now we are in this wonderful Taittiriya Upanishad, the Brahmananda Valli, the Prathama Anuvaka. We have seen Brahmavidapnoti Param, Tadeshabhyukta Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Then Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman Saha Ashnute Sarvan Kaman Saha Brahmana Vipaschita Iti. In this explanation, the main theme is the one who recognizes the Brahma Tattva to be his own real essential self. In the Buddhi Guha, that one will experience all the joys of everything at one go. This is a statement it is said. Saha Ashnute Sarvan Kaman Saha. सह ही अश्नुते भुंक्ते सर्वान् अविशिष्टान् कामान् भोगान् सह न पर्यायेण but saha. What is saha explained here? Ekakshana uparudhano ikapadu. Main things we have to understand this. Then the explanation. Why is it so? How is it so? And how that experience is greater than our experiences of uh, the worldly bhoga being a jiva. That analysis has to be done, should not be neglected. That should be taken so deep into the heart that from the heart now, other than trying to recognize the Brahman within ourselves, no other sankalpa is given value, no other kamana is given value, no other pursuit is given importance. That is the help this portion gives us if we take it. If we don't take this help in this way from this topic, which is so essential, we deal with this topic as carelessly, negligently as we do with everything else, then this also will not help. If this portion will not help us or we don't take help from it, nowhere we can take or the get help for the inspired spiritual sadhana. Otherwise, on the name of sadhana, every natak we can do and call it as sadhana. But what is true sadhana and the inspiration to do that will be gained within us if this is thoroughly understood. The literal meaning is the Brahmavid enjoys everything at one go in one moment. And then the explanation is given to us exhaustively. One more thing added here is what? One Brahma Anubhuti alone gives Anubhuti of everything else at one moment only. युगपद एक क्षण उपारूढ़ान एकया उपलब्ध्या. I am repeatedly saying it so that at least the literal meaning you catch it. Ekaya upalabdhya means with only one upalabdhi. What is that one? Brahma. Then ekakshana uparudhan means at one moment only. Yugapat means simultaneously. That is called as sahadera. He will ashnute, enjoys, bhunkte. Sarvan means all, kaman means vishaya, bhogan. Sarvan kaman saha yugabad ashnute. Okay, bhogan. Okay, this is what is said here. And contrast में, what is the experience of the jiva, what is the experience of Parabrahma knowing that realized saint. Now, first daring statement of fact, Shruti Mata or Shankara Bhagavan says, what is that? Brahma Bhutaha Vidwan, the one who has discovered Brahman as himself, Brahma Swarupena Eva. Now, underline this point. By being Brahman alone, or just by being Brahman alone, or because being Brahman alone. By being, just by being, because being Brahman alone, Brahma Swarupaneva, Sarvan Kaman Saha Ashnute, that he will enjoy all things at one go. By being Brahman alone. That's what we have to prove now. How is it proved? First, the contrast picture of the experience of Jiva of these worldly things described. Then, while explaining all those experiences, so many limitations are proved there in the experience of Jiva. Now, in the experience of Brahma, all these limitations are gone. Secondly, whatever, the second point is very essential. Whatever through Upadis you and I are having experience of the Sukha of the world, in and through that, who is there is Brahman alone. If you can sort out this thing, we are becoming very clear in the knowledge. So, in and through all, the Brahman alone is there. Means, in the Jnata, who is there is Brahman. Means, every time when the Jnata is knowing the Jnaya, Brahman alone is there. So, to in the Jnayam, also who is there is Brahman alone. Any number of Jnayams you take up. So, to the contact called as Jnanam. They are also Brahman alone. Here Jnata, Jnanam, Gnayam. In the context, it is called as Bhokta, Bhojyam and Bhogam. Enjoyeru, enjoyed, enjoyment. In and through that, can the enjoyed be there without Brahma? Can the enjoyer be without Brahma? Can the enjoying can without? पहले क्वेश्चन है पूछ लेना है. The answer should be no. Therefore, what? Even though we are experiencing the worldly things with senses, or with the senses we are experiencing the worldly things, it is actually wrong notion. Notion it is that we are experiencing the world through our senses. In fact, the experiences are of Brahman only. So Brahman in the ignorance is made into Triputi, and in that one is Bhokta, another is Bhogya, and the contact is Bhoga. In that notion we are there. In that notion, when we are experiencing the worldly things, it is filled with so many conditionings. In Brahmanamurti, all those conditionings are not there, and this notion is dropped. Then what is it? Brahman alone is every moment blissfully experienced. Because through every experience, of the world. What we experience is Brahma Tattva only, because without Brahman it cannot be. Therefore, unconditional, non-notional bliss is the bliss of Brahman. Therefore, it is apt to say that all the sukha experienced through all the senses of all objects, all of them are simultaneously in Brahman. This is what it is. Hmm. So, what are they? Nayatha upadhikrutena sarupena atmana jalasuryaadikadivat pratibimba bhutena. So, for a jiva, we need the ahamrutya upadhi. In that, the pratibimba of the Atma Vastu Chaitanya is required. Then that pratibimba goes on changing samsarika. Then you have to perform lot of dharmadi. Thereafter, you need the chakshuradi karana. Then everything is not given to in one go. Kaman paryayena ashnute loka. This is how our experiences of the world. One after the other, necessity of the chakshuradi karana, must do the dharmadi karma, then only the karma phala will come, and the doer himself is influenced by the guna, goes on changing, called as samsarikena. Then finally the experiencer jiva is a pratibimba only. In that pratibimba will not be, cannot be without the upadhi of the ahamruti. This all we have to recognize on the seat of meditation. Contrast to this, all these are not there in Brahma. Okay, then this next paragraph is very, very good one. It needs, these are the portions where that intuitive intellect is required for understanding it. Because even Vakta also cannot translate it in any of the languages. Some things are so that you have to have that tuning, then with little hinting one can catch it. If not, that portion is missed, but that's a crucial portion also. We try to tell one by one. So this is how a jiva experiences. That is what said. The question is, the Brahma Anubhuti also is like that, sir? No. Then how it is like that? What is the contrastness? What is the speciality in this Brahma Anubhuti? Because of which you are saying Ashnute Sarvan Kaman Saha. Few words, very important words. Let us try to understand. One by one. First term, Yathokta Prakarena. Yathokta Prakarena means as it was said as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. That will be his experience. And what is the experience in that first word? Sarvagnena. Is Jiva Sarvagna? No, it is Alpagna. And what is Parabrahma? Sarvagnena. Because it was proved. Sarvaha Jnaha is Sarvagnaha, we have discussed. And at that time we have explained exhaustively the knowing of Brahman or the Brahman being Sarvagna is not like the Jiva who knows something or the other through the Triputi formation. We have exhaustively seen the Sarvagnatva of Parabrahma is being conscious existence present as substratum of everything. What happens, because in our habits we use intellect and senses, then we know the world as something other than us, then the knower known knowledge is formed. In this way only we are habituated. Therefore, we are conditioned in the imagination that the jnana means only this way it is gained. This is the biggest problem. This is the only way the jnanam is gained. Like only as a deha, only as a indriyas, I can live. Only in Jagra Sapna Sushupti I experience. We are lost in this notion because they are habitually living life like this from many, many, many lives. It is so powerful कि हमको लगता ही नहीं कि इससे हटकर और कोई जीवन हो सकता है. Like a person almost every second, third day taking the bribe, etc. पूरा महीना या साल बिना कोई रिश्वत लिए केवल सैलरी से जीना उसको लगता है कि इम्पॉसिबल है. Habitually people, it habits so much that by taking that money, so much of black money they collected, but still out of habit they go on taking as if ये उनका ये हक बन गया. So too we take teas or coffees, we watch CV, we talk to the people. Every one of them, we are habitually lost in that, never thinking that it is not required at all. So many things in our life. In the same way, Triputi Yukta Jnanam alone is Jnanam. In that notion, we are lost. Actually, being conscious itself is the Jnanam. And this Jnanam is the knowledge without knower, known, knowing difference. That is what is explained, etc. At that time. So that Sarvajnatvena is the khubi or beauty of Brahman. And you will understand it only when the contrast is sold. Contrast is the Jiva is not Sarva. Means what? Alpagna Jiva is experiencing this. And every Jiva is Alpagna. And all the Jivas Jnanam put together is Jnanam of Brahma. Therefore, through Jnanam, every Jiva, whatever is doing and getting the happiness, all of that are there in Brahma. This understanding we have to get when the word here used is Sarvajnatvena. Means by being Sarvajna, he is enjoying everything simultaneously. That's what I said. Some intuitive, subtle intellect is required to catch this point. जीवा इज अल्पज्ञ. अल्पज्ञ जीव का कितना आनंद है, थोड़ा ही है. And all other jivas are alpagna. And every jiva's jnana is from the Parabrahma only, Ishvara only. Therefore, each jiva with his jnanam, whatever he is doing and getting the result and enjoying, all of that is there in Brahma. Therefore, by being Sarvagna himself, he is enjoying everything one go. He's not enjoying the objects, remember. He's enjoying the bhoga or ananda of objects. Ananda gained out of objects. Though ananda never comes from the object, we imagine that's how we go for the objects. Therefore, for such we who are involved in the world, that word of bhunkte kaman word used, actually what Shruti Mata says is all ananda experienced by all jivas through all the upadhis with all the objects that is there in Brahman simultaneously. So one is Jiva Alpagnya, the Brahman is Sarvagnya. Therefore सर्वज्ञ का आनंद तो बड़ा ही रहेगा, ज्यादा ही रहेगा, इनफाइनाइट ही रहेगा. अल्पज्ञ का अल्प आनंद, सर्वज्ञ का सर्व आनंद. Second one is what? Sarvagatena. Try to catch this also. Same like this. Is Jiva Sarvagata? Sarvagata means Sarva Vyabhaka. एक ही जगह है वो. Other Jiva, not Sarvagata, is only Alpa Vyabhaka. But what about Brahman? Sarva Vyabhakatva. So, Alpa Vyabhaka Jivas, if they are getting this or that happiness, Sarva Vyabhaka Brahma will get Sarva happiness. Every river, pond have their own waves and they are enjoying. Now, in the ocean, every river and pond's waves are included in that. Because ocean is the bigger thing, cause for all other things. So here also, Sarvajnatvena, Sarvavyabhakatvena. So by being Sarvajna and Sarvavyabhaka, the Ananda of being Brahman would be uh, everything experienced at one go. Again, when we say is Sarvajna, Brahma, Jiva Alpajna, what you would understand? The Alpajnata in the Jiva also is borrowed from Sarvajna Brahma only. With that, he is having this or that karma and karma phala and sukha. So too, the alpavyapakata of the jiva also is borrowed from the sarvavyapaka Brahma. Now this alpagnya, alpavyapaka jiva with alpa karma and alpa phala, if he is that much sukhi, then what would be the ananda of the sarvagna, sarvavyapaka Ishvara, Brahma? That picture you have to catch. That's what I'm saying. That some subtle intellect, intuitive, if you have, will be able to feel what Bhagavan Shankara is trying to convey. Third one is what? Sarvatmatvena, Sarvatmana. Sarvatma, you see, we all are not Sarvatma. मैं ही हूँ, आप ही है. I am not you, you are not me. But this Brahman is the self of all. So if one individual self called as Jiva, with his alpajnata and alpavyabhagata, this much ananda is getting. Other jiva, another, this. Each of them can never be as a self or as well as Upadhi without Brahman. Therefore, how much would be the Ananda of the Brahman if one recognizes it? Sarvatma Anand, Sarvagnya Ananda, Sarvavyapaka Anand. That also at one go. That is how कि यथोक्त प्रकारेण सर्वज्ञेन सर्वगतेन सर्वात्मना. एंड इस सर्वज्ञ सर्वगत सर्वात्मा क्या है? नित्य ब्रह्म आत्म स्वरूपेण. नित्य इटर्नली. Brahman, the pure reality. Atma is my own self. Swarupena, identity. This is how it is. Nitya Brahmatma Swarupena. So, I discover myself to the Brahman which is eternal. But the Jiva is not Nitya. He goes into sleep in Nidra, or when the Brahman is recognized, the Jiva Bhava dissolves. जीवन नित्य नहीं हो सकता, एक दिन उनको खत्म होना है. नित्य also means continuous. Continuously कैन नॉट बी द सेम. Depending on the three gunas, the jiva goes on changing also. But the Brahman is Nitya, all the time the same. That Brahman which is Nitya is Atma Sarupena, is recognized as the self. So Nitya Brahma का आत्मा स्वरूप में जानने वाला ये एक्सपीरियंस सर्वज्ञ सर्वव्यापक सर्वात्मक होने के कारण इस ब्रह्म अनुभव में सारे चीजों को एक ही बार अनुभव करने से जो सुख मिलता है वो मिलता है. You will not be involving the objects. Like 1 kilo मूंगफली है तो each one can eat 50 ग्राम 100 ग्राम, not more than that, मरेगा वो. तो ब्रह्म ज्ञानी gets the joy of eating all 1 kilo मूंगफली without eating it. That's the point. Because in each मूंगफली eating by every of the eater, whatever the upadhis are there, whatever the individuality is there, that is Brahman only. Without Brahma to hoga nahi. Even the मूंगफली also has come from Brahma. Is it not? That's what I'm saying. This topic, if we can become thorough after listening and contemplating 10, 20 times, what transformation will happen in us is with the same efforts. Why should I go for the limited happinesses? Why not get a permanent happiness which includes every other happiness? That thought will come. Yes, then go deep within your own कोशा पंचकोशा अंदर जाकर वहां निहितम गुहायाम जो ब्रह्म है उसको पता करो. How to do will be told to us through the Panchakosha Viveka systematically. Just like in Yoga Darsana also, the Bandhana Moksha is explained. Bandha is by Vrittis, Moksha is by Vritti Nirodha. For Vritti Nirodha, you have to do the Yoga Abhyasa, Yoga Sadhana. We started saying it yesterday. That Abhyasa Vairagya Abhyam Nirodha, that is how it started. Here also Panchakosha Viveka will start later on. But what is the basis for Panchakosha Viveka? Through Panchakosha Viveka, rejecting the Panchakosha, when I discover Brahma as an Atma of my own self, my bliss and Ananda will be so much infinite that if all objects by all people are experiencing all objects at one moment, not Pariyayana, how much is the happiness? That is the happiness of this Brahmanubhavi. Then be prepared. That's how it is. Sarvajnena, Sarvajnatvena, Sarvatmagatvena, Sarvavyapakatvena, Nitya Brahma Atma Swarupena. That's how he is something special, being Brahman, than the Jivas. Jiva is Alpagna, Alpavyapakaha. He is only Atma to only one particular Deha Adi. But the Parabrahma is Sarvajna, Sarvatma, and then Sarvavyapaka. And therefore, it's called Nitya Brahma. And with Nitya Brahma, you have discovered your identity. Therefore, Nitya Brahma Atma Swarupena. So, this Sarvagnatva, Sarvayapakatva, Sarva Atmakatva are the adjectives explaining Nitya Brahma Atma Swarupa. So, when I discover Brahma as an Atma, I discover that I am Brahman and Atma Nitya Rupena. And that Nitya Brahma Atma Swarupa me is Sarvagnya, Sarvayapaka, Sarva Atma. Therefore, with that and I identify the every Alpagnya, every Alpatma, every Alpasthita Vyakti, whatever the Sukha is getting, all of that is gained by him, the Brahmagyan. That's how it is. And the simple in that layman's language, what he said, if it is understood, that also enough. Ki with all the senses and antakarana, by all the jiva past and present and future, when all the objects are experienced at one go, what is the bliss of Brahman? That is what the bliss will be. That's the bliss of Brahman. That's the meaning of Ashnute Sarvan Kavan Saha. Then that can be achieved by discovering Aham Brahmasmi in our heart. That's why the Upanishads glory. Those who don't understand it, those who are not convinced about it, they say, Chalo, हमको अल्प सुखी चाहिए इंद्रिय आदियों के द्वारा of the jagat. That's why in the next line he says, Dharma adi nimitta anapeksha. You need not struggle to do dharma, the result of which alone is sukha. धर्म करने का जरूरत नहीं है, पुण्य करने का जरूरत नहीं है, कर्ता बनने का जरूरत नहीं है, कर्म फल का वेट करने का जरूरत नहीं है. But you are getting the anand of all that. You understand it? Like a giant wheel. So you are there in one of the chairs, and then you are going through all emotions of happiness and fear. You know, it's mixture because both जोर से घुमाते हैं तो डर ही लगता है. Now there is a choice. What's that? By being away from that giant wheel, you can identify with the happiness of every of the fellows who are moving in that continuously. Is it not? Throughout the day, 100 trips have happened, 100 times the people have entered in that. सबका आप अलग रह कर के भी उनसे तादाद में होकर you can enjoy all that. You know, this joy yesterday I tried to discover. I felt little bit. What's that? I was flying the kites. Wonderful. One key, five things it was so wonderful. It was good. I enjoyed. So I just thought, let me pause for an hour or half and see. Every building, every of the youngsters are doing it. I was observing and can I be happy with everyone's happy? It was so obvious and possible without myself flying. उसके बाद करने को जरूरत ही नहीं लगा. We are just enjoying only. So what might have happened at that time? Tentatively, not on the seat of meditation, but with the individualities of all of them, I tried to identify. Then their happiness become mine without doing anything. In the same way, the Brahman being the self of all, everyone's ananda is included in his ananda. यावान अर्थ उदपाने सर्वतः संप्लुतोदके तावान सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः. Is it not? In all the Vedas, whatever the Yajnayaga are told, with which so many of the Sukha Bhoga are informed, all of that are Brahmanasya Vijanatah. The one who experiences Brahman is himself in his Anandam. All these are included. And this is a very important point. And remember, in the world, people do advertisements to sell their products. Sometimes it may be true also, sometimes may not be. But here, though Shruti Mata is doing advertisement, it is not a commercial thing. It is not to sell something or buy something. It's a fact. And this fact we have to know that in the Anubhuti of Brahma, all the Anubhavas of everything in one go we experience. If really this thought goes deep into our intellect, will we not become more deeply spiritual? Will we not give up all other our efforts of trying to get the small little happinesses in the world by working through dharmadi and when the result comes by involving through the senses? वो सब छोड़ देंगे. That's why here says कि सर्वात्मना नित्य ब्रह्मात्म स्वरूपेण धर्मादि निमित्त अनपेक्षान चक्षुरादिकरण निरपेक्षान च सर्वान् कामान् सह एव अश्नुते इत्यर्थः. सर्वान् कामान् सह एव अश्नुते इत्यर्थः. And this at a miniature level in the yoga sadhanas that is achieved. Miniature level में. What is yoga sadhana में? कि when you master any of the tanmatras, when you become Siddha Purusha of any tanmatra, without going through any of the efforts, all the sukha that through that tanmatra we get, we enjoy it. And we can express that. Like if I have conquered the Gandha Tanmatra, all that will come in Yoga Darshanam. Then what? With all the smells, whatever the Ananda comes, that comes to me. And any of the smell, anywhere I can experience with my choice, without the object being there. You understand it? Like somebody invited for you for the bhojana, but you don't want to eat it for whatever reason. You say, अभी मैंने खाया देखो हाथ भी स्मेल भी पूरा नहीं गया. You can put your hand in their nose, so they can smell whatever you ate, the sambar or rasam, वो smell आएगा. You have not eaten only, but you conquered gandha tanmatra, therefore you can do that. In the same way, the rasa tanmatra is, let us say, you have conquered. Without eating anything, in your own that siddha sthiti, you can make yourself and you can make other person also experience. If that person asks, मुझे अभी आम खाने का खुशी मिलना चाहिए, you can through your siddhi onto his tongue where that saliva comes. Do such a wonderful blessing, whatever you call, he will have the experience of aam without aam being there in that season. रसतन मात्रा का कॉन्करिंग करने से the taste of every object can be experienced without objects. Because in every object, whatever the taste is there, is because of these tanmatras. But you already conquered that. सिद्धि बोलते हैं उसको. So too the shabda. I don't know which one it is. भगवद गीता का ही नॉलेज हो या विष्णु सहस्त्र नाम का और कुछ. I think सहस्त्र नाम only. That episode was over, but it was not recorded. Either Gita or Vishnu Sahasranam or any other text. Text याद नहीं आ रहा मुझे. Then कैसे then how to store all that? Then it is said that Sahadev ji has got that Shabda Tanmatra Siddhi. Sahadeva, 5 of the Pandavas, 5th of. Then he went to that place and from that ether, he has collected all the discussion that happened between Yudhishthira and Bhishma and he reported it and then it is a written or compiled. That way they say. Shabda Tanmatra he had the conquering of. देखो Rupa Tanmatra, you can have any form you want to see. It will come to you. Sparsha Tanmatra. You can give the people also. देखो catch my this hand. It will be so cold like it just came out of the fridge. And the other hand, you can say it is so hot that it has come out of the oven. ऐसा कैसा? That is what when one conquers that sparsha tanmatra. So these are all the miniature siddhis. But in Brahmanubhuti, all of them are included. Saha ashnute sarvan kaman saha. And it is not an exaggeration to tempt us or to make an advertisement. No, that is how it is. Logic is what? Wherever any anubhutis are happening, in that anubhuti, the Triputi is all substantiated or having the substratum of Brahman only. ब्रह्म के आधार पर उनमें खुशियां हैं तो ब्रह्म में कितना आनंद होगा बताओ. Like 100 sweets are there. When you eat the sugar, you will have the joy of all the 100 sweets. Because in every sweet, the common ingredient, main ingredient, to call it a sweet is the sugar only. Is it not? All the sweets of all forms in the whole world are enjoyed if you eat the sugar. Because sugar is the one which is substrate of everything. So that way, sarvan kaman ashnute. So the main important point is what? कि धर्म आदि निमित्त की जरूरत नहीं है, चक्षुरादियों के भी जरूरत नहीं है. Okay, and you and I as jiva, we have to do the dharma karma, then only the result will come. Then we need the chakshurad indriya to enjoy. And in our efforts, alpagnya hai, alpavyavat ka hai, alpa shakti matva hai. And the result which comes also is perishable, temporary. So many conditions are there in the happiness of the jiva, but every jiva is trying for it. What Vedanta says is All the ananda which you are trying in the world are in your own self. To precisely put it another way, every jiva, whatever the sukha ananda is gaining in the Jagrat Swapna Sushupti, all that is included in Brahman. ये फिर और अच्छा हो गया कि नहीं क्लैरिटी विदाउट द स्ट्रगल ऑफ जागृत स्वप्न सुषुप्ति is it not? What are the struggles in sushupti? The struggle is correct place of sleep you have to get, correct atmosphere should be there, sufficient hours it has to be, है कि नहीं? 7 घंटे सो तभी आनंद आता है, वो भी विदाउट एनी डिस्टर्बेंस. 6 से 7. फॉर ए योगी इट इज 3.5 to 4. So to Swapna, you can't have Swapna Ananda if the Swapna is very horrible. There's a condition. And Jagrat ka to pata hi humko. How much struggles are there in the Jagrat? Just now said. So without all that, the Ananda of the Brahman will be as every jiva goes through all these 3 अवस्थाs. So मेरे जिंदगी भर तीनों अवस्थाओं में मैंने जो जो भी सुख पाया सारा ब्रह्म में है. Because every time the Brahman was there behind as substrata for all these 3 avasthas. Again and again think in these things. Then in these lines, that conviction starts happening. Then the inspiration starts happening. Then let me discover that Brahma. Time लगता है थोड़ा, तुरंत पकड़ में नहीं आता वो. Is it not? एवरीवेयर है ना कि हाँ क्या है 50 रुपए दर्जन वहाँ केला दे रहे, ऐसा ही क्या? इधर तो 60-70 रुपए में ही 2 दर्जन दे रहे. नेचुरली यू गो देर 50 एक है 70 में 2 है तो वो वाले को जाओगे आप. बट इट टेक्स टाइम फॉर इट टू रजिस्टर. अच्छा 70 का 2 दर्जन, 50 का 1 दर्जन, 100 का 2 दर्जन, सो 30 रुपए बच रहा है मुझे. So here the kela are sold in dozens. In other place they may be in kilos. I don't know kgs. Don't you think in the same way, the Vishayananda for the Jiva in all these 3 avasthas are with so many limitations and conditionings. Acha, in Brahman, without doing the Dharmadi, without the Chakshurad just by being Brahman, Brahma being Sarvagna, Sarvayapaka, Sarvatva, all the Vishya Sukha means all the Ananda gained through all the Vishyas, okay, it is in Brahman. Therefore, let me go for it. तो एक ही ब्रह्म को पाने से एक ही क्षण में सहा युगपत एक ही साथ सारे चीजों का अनुभव करने से इंद्रियों से मन से जो खुशी मिलता है सबको मिलकर दैट विल बी हिज आनंद. So the same thing in other textbooks is said in different ways. It is Nitya Ananda, it is Ashwat Ananda, this never gets reduced or diminished, it is unconditional. In those Upanishads, what is said there, same said here in this way. Here it is more beautiful, it is. Because Sarvan Kaman Saha Ashnute. Sarvan Kaman Saha Ashnute, to put it in your language, the joy of seeing all episodes of all serials in one go. Now you understood? More so, all really, all languages. And then without seeing, without getting the headache, without borrow the electricity bill, Bina Sahara uska, you will have the ananda of seeing all the serials. Swami, cinema, cinema bhi. Cricket, cricket bhi. Without watching cricket, India won 317, whatever, you can. That's the meaning of Sarvan Kaman Saha Ashnute. Feel the meaning of this word. Sarvan Kaman Saha Ashnute. And this can be explained or with the help of this, another sloka can be explained of Gita. What is that? The 5th chapter. Which one? The last sloka. What it says? Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. See, I am the bhokta of every experience gained by every jiva. And that efforts put by that jiva to get that experience is called as technical word by yajna and tapasya. So, who is experiencing actually? The Brahman alone. Why? Because Sarva Loka Maheshwara. Sarva Loka Maheshwara. Loka means experience. Sarva Loka Maheshwara means he is the Lord of every experience. How? In every experience, whatever the Triputi is there, all the three are having him as substratum. Therefore, who is the bhokta of everything is Brahman only. Everywhere. Without him, nothing can happen. That's why. Like every reflected sun of the Balti, though he is illuminating different places, basically is it not because of the original Surya? उसमें अगर रहे तो ये होगा ही नहीं वो भोक्तारम यज्ञ तपसाम सर्वलोक महेश्वरम सुहृदम सर्वभूतानाम as now just now said such person in everybody's happiness is his happiness without doing anything. Wonderful, if we can get that one. You are happy in everyone's happiness. In an emotional, devotional manner, it is said like that. देखो दूसरों के खुशी में अपने खुशी देखना, इसे उनको खुश करना, और उसके लिए उनको ये वो चीज़ दे दो, प्यार दे दो या what. That's all at the lower level of values. We are taught all this. Only to indicate to us ultimately that you be identified that Brahman, then you will have the Ananda experienced by all the jivas at one go through all senses of all objects of past, present, future, of all the yonis. मछली पानी में तैर रहा है, you are not tairing, but still the ananda of the tairing of machli you will have it, because in the machli the ananda is there because of Brahman in that. So हवा में बिना उड़े ही पंछी का आनंद आपको आएगा, because the panchi udding and happy because of Brahman in that, and I am identifying that Brahman. How big must be this Ananda, na? Sahashnute sarvan kaman saha. हो गया? This much we saw yesterday. Chakshurad karana nirapekshancha sarvan kaman sa eva ashnute ityartaha. Contemplate on this, please. We tried to explain it, and I believe that explanation was sufficient. Okay. And Bhashyakara's Bhashya has really helped us. Now each one will have to contemplate on this with proper importance value given to it. Then it will help us, inspiring us to pursue only Brahma Vidya. तो अपने आप को कहना चाहिए ब्रह्म प्राप्ति से इतना आनंद मिलता है. Instead of that, as a jiva through the upadhi, through the dharmadi, with the chakshuradi, I am going for alpa sukha. Why I am doing this? Is it not? Every day सुबह से शाम तक सुख पाने के लिए हम क्या क्या परेशानियां नहीं उठाते. And little sukha comes definitely, but that is conditioned with so many places. Because Brahman is everywhere, the sukha has to come also. विषयों में नित्य सुख होना ही चाहिए, क्योंकि विषय ब्रह्म से ही बने. लेकिन विषय सुख is not so great as Brahma sukha, because the Vishayas have its own limitation. They are only limited to one place at one time and is affected with the kala, it goes on changing and perishing. विषय सुख में, निद्रा सुख में सुख है, वही तो हम एंजॉय कर रहे हैं, बट वो ब्रह्म सुख है, लेकिन नॉट ब्रह्म सुख, बिकॉज इट्स ऑल रिफ्लेक्टेड. देन व्हाट? Discover the Brahman in his Upanishadisthanam called as cave of heart. Then the sukha of all the nidras and all the Vishayas. Vishayas means Jagra Sapna. Nidra means Sushupti Avastha ka. सारा उस ब्रह्मज्ञ में आ जाएगा. That is what. Now, the last sentence in this is Brahmana Vipashchita iti. Why it happens, how he enjoys? Because Brahmana Vipashchita. Because that Brahma is a Vipashchit, is a Medhavi, is a pure, continuous, constant consciousness. Without consciousness, the Bhokta cannot be there, the Bhoga cannot be there, the Bhogya Vastu is not there. Therefore, Vipashchita means what? Vipashchita means Medhavina, means Sarvagnena. By being Sarvagnya, that's the meaning of Vedavi or Vipashchito. Means what? Tadhi Vipashchityam yat Sarvagnyatvam. What is the Vipashchitvam or Vipashchita? So, Nayam Kutaschinna Babuva Kashchit Vipashchit, all these words came in our other Upanishads. Also, Vipashchit means Tadhi Vipashchityam yat Sarvagnyatvam. Vipashchitatva means what? Sarvagnyatva. Sarvajnatvam is not like our jnanam through Triputi again. Sarvajnatvam is already exhaustively we saw in Satyam Jnanandam Brahma, the Jnapti Swarupa Sarvajnatvam, but only pure consciousness. So, Medavina Vipaschita Tadhi Vaipaschityam Yat Sarvajnatvam. Tena Sarvajna Swarupena Brahmana Ashnute iti. That's what is the beginning. Brahma Bhuta Vidwan, Brahma Swarupena eva Sarvan Kaman Saha Ashnute. That which started, and slowly by giving a contrast picture of the jiva's experiences, and those limitations are not there in Brahman. Having said all that, conclusion में कहा कि सर्वज्ञत्वं तेन सर्वज्ञ रूपेण ब्रह्मणा अश्नुते. By being that Brahman who is Sarvajna, or when you discover the Brahman, Brahman is Sarvajna. By being Sarvajna, Sarvan Kaman Sahashnute ho jata hai. Iti Shabdaha Mantra Pari Samapti Artha. In this way, these mantras, commentaries given to us to be given importance, and lot of pondering we have to do. और इतना सुंदर इतना बढ़िया वेदांत सुनने के बाद में mind and Maya are so powerful that such a valuable thing also we just brush aside. We continue our foolishness of continuing being a jiva, wanting to experience the world of objects through senses after getting the karma phala by doing the karma. धर्मा आदि कर्म करके उससे मिलने वाले फल का सुख इंद्रियों से पाने का उसी चेष्टा में हम रहते हैं. इस ब्रह्म प्राप्ति के लिए प्रयत्न नहीं करते हैं. दैट मच पावरफुल इज माया. दैट इज वाई ईश्वर कृपा है तो माया हटेगा, ऐसा बात समझ में आ गया. दैट मच पावरफुल आर आवर वासनास आर हैबिट्स. अगेन व्हेन थ्रू कर्म भक्ति योगास व्हेन द वासनास आर रिड्यूस्ड देन दिस थिंग विल क्लिक. एल्स व्हाट, तुम कुछ भी कहो मैं जो मानता हूँ वही करूंगा वाला जो एटीट्यूड होता है ना, वही हम चलाते जाएंगे. And if the children are very unruly, uncontrolled, never disciplined consciously by the parents and grandparents, thereafter anything you tell, he will not do. He will do whatever feels like. So to our antakarana is habitually living life of karta karma, karma phala, way of life. To that antakarana, strong our Brahma Jnana is given like that, immediately doesn't accept. इट विल से ठीक है होता होगा कोई गल नहीं, मैं तो अब जाकर चाय ही पीता हूँ. अरे सारे जिंदगी भर जो चाय पीते हो पिया था, सबका खुशी तुमको ब्रह्म में मिलेगा, वो मानेगा नहीं. बिकॉज इज हैबिचुएटेड टू दैट कॉफी और टी. दैट इज अ बला ऑफ वासना, बला ऑफ माया, बला ऑफ द अविद्या. इट फोर्सेस अस इनटू द लाइफ ऑफ इंडल्जेंस even though we are getting the jnana. Therefore, the jnana gained should be so powerful and strong that it should stop our earlier natural entering into the non-Brahma worldliness. Then only we can do this sadhana. अब देखो कितना जरूरत है फिर कर्म योग का, चित्तवृत्ति निरोध का, अष्टांग योग का, भक्ति का, to sort out these nonsense. Without that, neither Vedanta will enter, nor will it inspire us, nor we will do that sadhana Vedantic of discovering the Brahman Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman and get the liberation. होगा ही नहीं. That is why शुरू से ही हमको विवेक वैराग्य यम नियम आदि बताकर तैयार करते हैं, so that when the Vedantic Jnanam is given, we are inspired. Now it is told, all the experience of all the objects, you experience at one go. But are we inspired? At this very moment, if we are inspired, no thing should be taken up as work for us. उसी के लिए अंदर हृदय में ध्यान करना. If I am inspired by this sentence, at this very moment I should stop giving satsang. Because satsanga is given by a jiva, it is a dharmadi karma. Then when you appreciate or something happens, then I will enjoy it. It is all. And all the satsangas of all the people of all the times, the ananda given by it is experienced in Brahmananda. Then I should go for it, no, immediately. See the power of habits, power of the vasanas. You understand? This is a very clear understanding. And still we go on doing. Just like any chore, put in the jail, given 4 and 5. Only again he thinks, when I release, where will I go and do the chori? Is it not any corrupt person? He held. Then he is suspended. Then he's just waiting only. By all means, let me come out of the suspension. And then again I start taking the bribe. इसलिए कुत्ते का दुम जितना भी सीधा करो छोड़ दिया तो फिर टेढ़ा दैट इज वाई दीर्घ काल नैरंतरेण सत्कारा सेवितो दृढ़ भूमि फिर क्यों बताया ऐसे कि हाँ इतने जन्म जन्म लगते हैं करके बिकॉज ऑफ दिस रीजन because from the past we brought those habits of worldliness not brahman that habits force us so much and not only the past lives in this life also every day we are doing it which is the non brahma wala lifestyle we have given up batao कन्वीनियंटली हम क्लास भी सुनते हैं और संसार ही जीते हैं अब वही आदत बढ़ा ही जा रहे हैं अभी भी why we are discussing it is therefore to know how we make our spiritual progress difficult by not understanding the need of slowly reducing the importance given to all of them through karma bhakti and ashtanga इन तीनों योगों के द्वारा अंतःकरण शुड बिकम सो शुद्ध सत्व गुण that no prompting of rajas for indulgence no prompting of tama for the laziness should be there. To such person only, understanding will come, inspiration will come, he will take initiative and he go for it. He goes for it. May we all have that blessings very soon by the grace of Lord. Now, इति शब्दः मंत्र परिसमाप्ति अर्थः सोऽश्नुते सर्वान् कामान् सः ब्रह्मणा विपश्चिता इति means that mantra is over. So the first line is Brahmana Vakya, Brahmavida Apnoti Param. Then Tadesha Abhyukta is a commentary. Then from the Satyam Jnana Anantam Brahma up to Iti, this is called as the Mantra Vakya. So the Brahmanas are there in the Krishna Yajurveda and mantras are there in the Rigveda. So the Rigveda mantra is this one quoted to substantiate what is said in the Yajurveda of the Taittiriya Upanishad. Yajurveda ka mantra first line, Brahmaveda Apnoti Param. And to substantiate it from the Rigveda, the Rucha is taken. Tadesha Bhyukta, Esha Rucha Bhyukta. We saw it exhaustively. So, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Yo Vedanitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman So Oshrute Sarvan Kaman Saha. Up to this is all the mantra vakya. और कोटेशन हो गया तो फिर हो गया क्या तो हो गया बोलना चाहिए ना तो हो गया is in Sanskrit called as iti means हो गया end full stop it's called therefore iti शब्दः मंत्र समाप्त्यर्थः क्लियर इति का शब्द मंत्र परिसमाप्त हो गया ये कहने के लिए कह दिया so now we have seen ब्रह्मविदाप्नोति परम तदेशाभ्युक्ता सत्यम ज्ञानवंतम ब्रह्म यो वेदनीतम गुहायाम परमे व्योमन सोष्णुते सर्वान् कामान् सह ब्रह्मणा विपश्चिता इति. So this is the crux of the entire Vedanta and the Upanishad. Then now the next mantra of the Prathama Anuvaka only. What is that? Tasmadva etasmad atmana akasha sambhutaha. From that Brahman only the Akasha Adi came. That second part of this Upanishad, Prathama Anuvaka of the Ditya Valli, we have to study. But before studying only, Bhagavan Adi Shankara gives a beautiful Sambandha Bhashya. It is as valuable as main mantra. That also we have to have the energy, patience to study and understand. What he says, Avatarika. What is that? Hmm. Hmm. वो बाद में आएगा. Avatarika for the next mantra, Tasmadva e tasmad atmana. Here when I use the mantra word mantra, mantra means the general mantra. Particularly mantra means all the Rigveda mantras. And the Yajurveda mantras are called as Brahmanas. In that Brahmanam it is said, like that. In that mantra it is said. The moment they says कि उस मंत्र में लिखा है, immediately they understand from that is the Rigveda से है. The moment he said, oh, that's the Brahmanam, I mean, they understand it's from the Yajurveda. Okay. Now here the mantra is general mantra. The second mantra, तस्माद्वा ये तस्माद् आत्मनाकार संभूतः, उसका संबंध भाष्य हम देख रहे हैं 5 मिनट में. भगवान आदि शंकरा इज गाइडिंग अस. ही सेज कि सर्वः एव वल्ली अर्थः, अवतारिका वी आर सीइंग, सर्व एव वल्ली अर्थः. Which Valli? Second Valli. What is its name? Brahmananda Valli. So entire second Brahmananda Valli's artha Brahma vidapnoti param iti Brahmana vakyena sutrita. It is told in the sutra form with the Brahmana vakya called as Brahma vidapnoti param. So what he said again is just summarizing. So Brahma vidapnoti param is a Brahmana vakya which is said in the beginning of this Valli and which is the Sarva Valli Artha. Artha means Uddeshya, purpose, not only the meaning. Meaning as well as purpose of the entire second Valli is in this, the Krishna Yajurveda mantra. It is called Brahmana, called as Brahma Vidapnoti Param. So what is Brahma Vidapnoti Param? It is Brahmana Vakya. Brahmana Vakya means the Brahmana portion, not a Brahmana ne bola, Kshatriya ne bola, not that way. The Brahmana is the Krishna Yajurveda or Yajurveda mantras. So through the Brahmana Vakya, entire Valli Artha is Sutrita. And what is that Brahmana Vakya? Brahma Vidapnoti Param. Means Brahma Vidapnoti Param. With this Brahmana Vakya, the entire Valli is in meaning as well as purpose is summarized or put it in the form of formula. Sutra ke roop. First point. You have to feel for it when Bhagavan is giving that in his Sambandha Bhashya, there is something important. So therefore, what is the entire second Valli? Brahmananda Valli. What is the Sutra Vakya for this Brahmananda Valli? Is Brahma Vidapnoti Param. What is the Brahma Vidapnoti Param? It is Brahmanam. It is there in what? In the Krishna Yajurveda. What it is? The Sutra of the entire Valli. Having first point. Second is what? Sahaja Sutrita Arthaha. That same sutra, its artha, its meaning, sankshepataha mantrena vyakhyataha. Okay, with the mantra of the Rigveda, it was vyakhyataha, explained संक्षेपतः. जो हम 1 महीने से पढ़ रहे हैं, इसको यहाँ शंकर भगवान संक्षेप बोल रहे हैं. Okay, therefore, what is that? Yajurveda, Brahmana, Satyam Jnanam Anantam, which is Valli Artha. Sorry, Brahma Vidapnoti Param. So, Brahma Vidapnoti Param is a Yajurveda's Brahmana Vakya, which is a sutra for the entire Valli. Then what it is followed by? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma is Rigveda's mantra, which is the Vyakhyanam for the Yajurveda's Brahmana called Brahma Vidapnoti Param. So the Yajurveda's Brahmana, Brahma Vidapnoti Param has become Sutra. Then the Rigveda's Rucha or the mantra called as Satyam Jnanantam Brahma has become Vyakhyana, Sankshepa Vyakhyana. So, Sarvaha eva Valli Arthaha Brahma Vidapnoti Param iti Brahmana Vakyena Sutritaha. Then Sahaja Sutritaha Arthaha Sanksepataha Mantrena Vyakhyataha. In short, is explained. Then, now I am sure you will be really frustrated. I am not frustrated, but I don't know. I believe it so. What is that? Punaha Tasya eva. Again, of that Brahmana Vakya of Brahma Vidapnoti Param, Tasya eva विस्तरेण अर्थ निर्णय कर्तव्य, उसका विस्तार से अर्थ निर्णय करना है इति उत्तरः तद्वृत्ति स्थानीय ग्रंथः आरभ्यते. Therefore, the subsequent grantha, which is like a vritti to that first Brahmana Vakya, is going to be started. Tasmadva etasmad iti. So, why the Tasmadva etasmad mantras have come in the Taittiriya Upanishad is to tell in Vistara about what is the meaning of the Brahmana Vakya of Brahmavidapnauti Param, even though its Vyakya little bit is done in the Rucha Mantra Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So it should be very, it's all, this is what Bhagavan Adi Shankara's high level of intellect. The flow is what? Brahmavidapnoti param tasmadva etasmad atmana akasha sambhuta. The flow should be like that. Why? Brahmavidapnoti param ka vyakhyanam or vritti explanation is tasmadva etasmad atmana. But before that, another portion has come. What is that? The Rigveda mantra or Rigveda's mantra, Rucha. What is that? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So therefore, what is the things here? Brahmavida apnoti param is Valli artham. That Valli artha has to be explained in Tasmadva Ayatasmad. But before that, to tell the Lakshana of this Brahma, a mantra from the Rigveda is borrowed. So that Rigveda mantra has become a little Vyakhyana for the Sutra Vakya, which is in the Yajurveda Brahmanam. Of that Yajurveda Brahmanam called Satyam Jnanantam, Brahmavidapnoti Param, the Vyakhyanam is coming up, Tasmadva Etasmad Ityad. And it goes till the end of the Valli. How the Brahma Vidya is to be gained, and having gained so, how it is going to be Param. Though it is said in the Vyakhyana of the Ruk Mantra. But हम तो पढ़ रहे हैं Yajurveda, no? We have to follow the Yajurveda वाला. Rugved का help ले लो, but then अपना track मत छोड़ो. And it is going to be the vritti, it is called as Vartika. So the next mantras are the vritti of the first sutra vakya. Means Upanishad itself is giving sutra, and Upanishad itself is giving the Vyakhyanam or vritti also. On that Bhashyakara's Bhashya for our understanding. So Tasmadva Etasmad Atmana Ityadi mantras, what are they? They are the Vrittisthaniya explanations of what the sutra. Which sutra? The first sutra, the only sutra of this Upanishad, or the second Valli. That is Brahmavida Apnoti Param. So Brahmavida Apnoti Param sutra ka Rucha ka Vyakhyanta Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Okay. So no, Brahmavida Apnoti Param ka Brahmana Vakya का वृत्ति है तस्माद्वा ये तस्माद इत्यादि. So we will see that. Very interesting it will be. So सर्व एव वल्यर्थः ब्रह्मविदाप्नोति परमिति ब्राह्मणवाक्येन सूत्रितः स च सूत्रितार्थः संक्षेपतः मन्त्रेण व्याख्यातः पुनः तस्यैव विस्तरेण अर्थ निर्णयः कर्तव्यः इति उत्तरः तद्वृत्तिस्थानीयः ग्रन्थः आरभ्यते तस्माद्वा ये तस्माद्. Without this connectivity, no, we just read the literal meaning and we feel that we have completed the book. Question is not to complete the book, it is to gain that beautiful, convinced knowledge and do sadhana. So, what is this mantra and what it is? Bhagavan Adi Shankara's Bhashya on that, it is so beautiful. It has got two portions in it. In the first portion, how the Brahman is not limited by Deshakala Vastu, that is dealt with very beautifully and exhaustively. Thereafter, to this Brahmana Vakya called as Tasmadva ye Tasmad Atmanaha, uska Vyakhyan, wo zyada difficult nahi hai, wo aa jayega. And thereafter, we will see in the subsequent, the Anuvakas, the Panchakosha Viveka Ityad. Now, when I was reading this, अब इसका व्याख्यान करेंगे. अभी तक क्या कर रहे थे फिर? See, last 2 weeks we were struggling to understand it. It is only glimpse. The real Vyakhyan of Brahmavida Param Sutra Vakya is going to come in the next line. And the entire Upanishad is the Vyakhyan of it only, especially the second Valli. Om, 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 Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namah Paravarshibhyo Namah Parabrahmane Namah Shruti Matre Namam Tatsat Brahmarpanamastu. Now tomorrow's class also will be very very important, because we are going to study why the Brahman is unlimited by Deshakala Vastu. Thereafter, the commentary on Tasmadva, and there will be some questions intelligent by Purvabakshi. Bhagavan Bhashyakara guides us.